So, as you might have seen, Sonos have launched support for a dual sub setup with their latest app update. So bass lovers, this one's for you. Now this video is going to show you what it looks like in the app, our initial impressions, who this setup might be right for, and a sound test, as I know that's what you'll all be craving. We'll spend some time over the next week or so doing a proper thorough test of the setup with movies, gaming, music and more, so make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you don't miss our more in-depth video that's going to come soon. Now this video does come with a slight disclaimer. If you live in a flat or you have an adjacent wall, this one might be the final push to make your neighbours really hate you. So earlier this week, the news broke that the latest Sonos S2 app update, available now, enables Sonos users to connect two of the brand's wireless subwoofers, the Sonos Sub, to their home setup. Now, while we see many people begrudging the price of the sub at $699 RRP, we actually see just as many, if not more, bass lovers requesting a dual sub feature, and this is something we're definitely asked a lot about. Now, this functionality has definitely been a long-awaited update for many of you guys, so let's get into it. The dual sub setup will work with the newer Sonos Arc and Sonos Beam soundbars, as well as the older Play Bar and Play Bass soundbars. You've also got the option to use it with the Sonos Amp to boost the bass for non-Sonos products too. Now, it's important to note that this is only available via the new Sonos S2 app, and it requires at least one of the Sonos subs to be a Gen 3 model. Now, if you want any more information on how the Gen 3 sub is different to the previous models, I'll link our video covering that below for you. So here I've got the Gen 3 and a Gen 2 model, and I've connected both of these to the Sonos Arc here. Now, adding the second sub wasn't too much hassle. You just need to make sure that everything is fully up to date before you get started. Now, the new setup process in the app makes things really easy to follow, and it's even quicker than before to get things going, as it automatically pops up when it senses a new product has been plugged in and is ready to be added. Now, I had to add the second sub separately and start with that, and then I added it to the Arc and sub setup that I already had in place in the app. Now, once set up, the subs are controlled as one. So if you want to turn the subs off, you have to either have both on or both off, and it's the same with tweaking the sub level or the phase control. So in terms of positioning, unlike most other subs, the Sonos subs are pretty much non-directional, so you can actually place them more or less anywhere in the room without it impacting the bass performance, but we will go more in depth on how you should position them in our in-depth review next week. So for the purposes of this video and visually, we've got one sub on either side of the TV, but we've also tested having one at the front and one at the back of the room, and that did slightly improve the performance. Now, one of the main benefits of actually having two subs is that you can increase the sound wave density in your room, reducing the peaks or nulls in the room, which is going to result in a smoother frequency response, so you're going to get the same immersive, heart-pounding performance wherever you are in your room. Now, of course, placement is going to be heavily dependent on the layout, size and shape of your room, but as a general rule of thumb, having one either side of your TV like this, them in the middle of the room on either side of your sofa, for example, or one at the front and back of your room is going to offer a much better performance than anywhere else. Now, we're always a bit skeptical of doing sound tests in a YouTube video, as it is so heavily subjective on the device you're watching us on or the speaker and headphones you're using to listen. However, I do know this is something you guys are going to want from this video, so we are going to do a quick sound test now, showing you the difference between having one sub or two subs connected to the Sonos Arc. So hopefully you could get a sense of the difference in that sound test. I can say that from being in this room when we had two subs connected, the bass was far more deeper, more powerful and more impactful than when you have a single sub and arc setup, which is already pretty impressive in terms of bass. So who's this setup right for then? Well, if you live in a flat or you share a wall with your neighbours, this is bound to cause a few issues. I'd also say that if you're in a smaller room, it's most likely going to be overkill and a bit of a waste of money unless you're a true bass lover and you're really looking for as much bass as possible from your setup. However, if you're in a larger room or perhaps you've got a dedicated media room, we can see the temptation, and this is definitely going to take your movies and music to another level. Of course, this setup isn't going to be for everybody. You've definitely got to love the feel and the rumble of powerful bass, not to mention have a budget to cover two Sonos subs at $699 each. However, we can certainly see a market for it, and I can see this new update making a lot of people very happy. Now, as I said at the start, this functionality is available now, so if you do decide to go for the setup, then do let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, that's it for today then, guys. As I mentioned, we're going to be thoroughly testing this setup over the next week with movies, gaming, music and more, so we can give you a far more in-depth review. So make sure you have subscribed to our channel to catch that one. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and your questions below. We'd love to hear your opinions in this update. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon.